Student of Karmanan, batch of 45. He is Vishal Pashori and he is Divyan Ranjan. So we started this journey in a very filmy manner. Startingly, we have, allotted Longewala as our VFS. We went there and there was very difficult situation for all of us. We talked to the VFS office and we got it changed and we went to the Alwar district of Rajasthan. We were working under Iqtada organization and this organization was opened by an Irman. It was opened by Irman and I want to start this presentation by asking you which mountain is this? And the answer to this mountain is this is Aravalli Ranges and we stayed in this particular village named Birla. Next slide please. So it's very simple altogether. For our objective of this presentation is how we analyze this village. In order to analyze any society, any country, any locality, any state, we have to get the data of social, economical, and political data of the particular village, and we have done this. And we have also evaluated the Iqtada organization intervention in our study. So, in order to, get to this, the inside of the village, we have done the analysis of the qualitative and quantitative data. We have conducted FGDs, PRAs, and we have done direct interviews also. And there was various challenges which we found in this particular village. The first challenge was, the male dominance in the village. Although SFGs are working, as well as, people were hesitant of talking about the sensitive issues in the village, as well as there is a huge amount of casteism in this particular village. Next slide, please. I missed one thing. There is incomplete data of health issues in the village. I will cover these topics in the further slides. So, talking about the remoteness of the village. This particular village was, located, situated beside a mountain. Due to the mountain, the connectivity of this village is very, very disturbed altogether. And railway station was 15 kilometers away. Bus stand was around 6 kilometers away. ATM was in Barabharkol, and this was at around 8 kilometers. And the tehsil was around 20 kilometers away. And these are the data of the census of Government of India, the location and the population dynamics of the village. Literacy rate is same altogether, 50-50%. And the roads connectivity was good altogether. Next slide. So, a typical day of the village. The village was very, very fascinating because we were surrounded by mountains. And talking about the geographical location of that particular village, the village was some sort of arid region. Mostly in the Rajasthan, we found thorny bushes, as well as the mountains were also some sort of, we found sort of, not a dusty like kind of climatic condition of the soil profile, but we found the soil profile was somewhat clayey, and the main intervention which we found in this particular village is stone mining. And one of the biggest occupation of the villagers of the Birla villages, they were the stone miners. They have mined, huge amount of mountains, and they have crafted humongous amount of craft artifacts of that particular mountain. But due to the government intervention and the degradation of Aravalli village, Government of India has banned this mining, and ultimately the villagers' occupation have changed, and we have found that there is a urban-rural migration which we have found in this particular village, and we will discuss these things in our further slide. And can you this is the census data, population working in the village according to the Government of India data. So next slide. So here is Vishal and here is Divyan. We were roaming in the village and we were asking people what is the health condition of the people, and we found that there is no, nearby government hospital around there. And he is the person, he is the chemist out there, and he used to provide some drugs to the people. And actually, we found that in this particular village, the sanitation problem is not there. Everyone is having a ghar, or you can say toilets in their room, and people don't used to go outside for their washroom purposes. As well as we have found that in this particular village, the people are working and people are very dominant about their caste. if there is a journal community, if there is Thakur community, if there is scheduled caste community, so they are very, uh, I mean, they don't feel bad about who they are. They are more dominant enough. If any scheduled caste person's marriage is going on, they used to carry Gautam Buddha's photo in their hand, and they used to show that this is my particular identity. I am not getting, offended, or I'm not getting afraid of this. Any kind of upper caste people. Next slide. Back. Can you get back? The sanitation purpose has been. So. The water quality of this particular village is different altogether. The water is having huge amount of TDS because of the geographical location of the Rajasthan, as well as the Aravali villages, and the village was just situated just behind the mountain ranges. So the TDS content was high, and the water, the water was coming to our household with the help of taps, and it came around two in the midnight as well. One person used to come, he used to blow the whistle, and everyone used to roam around the village, and they used to fill their buckets. Next slide. So here we are in the Sarkari school of that particular village. She is the lady. She is working around 10 years. She is the government employee of the of this particular school in the Birla village, and she was the principal. And she was one of the most, kindest women which we have found in this particular village. She is the woman who was, quite motivating enough. She also motivated the students of that particular village, and she was very confident that she can bring the change in this particular village. As well as in this particular village, we have found that in that school, science and commerce streams were not taught. We were shocked enough, and this is the reason there was a huge dropout of students, because they used to go to the private schools, because this government school is not working in that particular way for the education of science and commerce, and people used to prefer private school. I don't know why, but that's a different issue. Next slide. So talking about the cropping patterns, the geographical situation of this village is some sort of dry climate, and so we found that those crops were grown which are not used to absorb water. We can say that the less water absorbent crops were bajra, mustard, onion, as well as weeds. So if we analyze we have talked to some people, they used to tell that their revenue from per bigha of a crop. This is an example. This data might differ from crops to crops. So 15,000 rupees were they get the revenue of it, as well as share cropping pattern is mostly prevalent in every village. 3/4 of the income is to take by the person who is having the his field, and 1/4 is for the laborers who used to work in the field. And there is an issue in the can you get that? There is an issue in the field, that because the water is very costly in Rajasthan, and so I'm not getting the correct word, but the extraction cost is very high, so that's why the farming capacity or farming ability is very low. Excellent. So this is the focus group discussion which we have done in the village. We have done the SFG 6 FGD in the village, as well as there's 10 SHGs in the village working right now under the organization, and this data is incorrect. It is not 24%, it is 2%. The SHG used to grant loans to the female who are joined in the SHG at the 2% rate, so that they can they pay off very well or very wisely, so that they cannot get financially burdened enough. As well as we were living with our host family, and she was also a part of SHG, and her name was Veena, and she was Krishi Sakhi, and she used to motivate the females of that particular village, as well as there is agriculture support. Krishi Vikas Kendra is very far away from that particular village, but I think that it was far away, but the workers or the farmers of that particular village were very confident enough. They are working very hard, and the time when we reached to the village, everyone was growing onion in in their fields, and they were working, they are earning very high. Next slide. So they're talking about the festivals in that particular village. Govardhan Puja, Diwali, Navaratri was celebrated very vibrantly. And the social issues were very different altogether. I mean, we didn't found that we found that child marriage was prevalent there, as well as alcoholism. Every place, I mean, if you walk 50 meters, you will find a liquor shop, illegal liquor shop. I mean, everyone was drunk. Mostly in Rajasthan, liquor is very easily available. It's not like any other state. But we have found this was our finding. Gambling was very prevalent altogether. People were playing tash every time, as well as migration is very prominent because the main focus of that particular village was mining. Mining got over. Everyone used to get to Jaipur for the mining purpose, and from the mining they used to get a very secret disease known as silicosis and bronchitis. I mean, people used to die in very early age, in the age of one span of 5 to 6 years, the lungs used to get damaged. And then in the family which we were living in, his husband as well as his other family members died of this particular disease. As well as in this particular village, there is a Sat Khambon Ki Khan, which we will show in further slides. Next slide. So governance was very different altogether. I mean, you have watched this Panchayat web series. In this particular village, there is Panchayat Bitia. The Bitia was studying in Jaipur, and his father was working as a Panchayat. The governor of that particular village, the Panch of the particular village, as well as very different altogether. I mean, the livelihood and the work has been done on the roads and water infrastructure development, as well as for the livelihood of the person. So, 20 seconds. And we just recommend that. Can you get that? But we recommend that water and employment issues is one of the most prominent issues of this particular village. Next slide. So key findings of this village is this village is prominently ruled by the SHGs, as well as major problem was unemployment, some sort of sanitation, and child marriage and domestic violence was we found that because one day we were found that there was a male and there was a female, and they were talking all together, and the female parents come and they hit hard to the male and uske haath pair tod diye, and this was the huge amount of crime we have seen in this village, as well as Krishi Vikas Kendra is very far away, and health services is very it's not good because in this village we don't have very nearest hospital, as well as waste management is also poor because people used to burn their waste. Vishal, can you carry on?
Hello. So our theme paper topic was analyzing the micro loans that have been provided in the SHG. So today I am going to give you the very valuable insight about the SHG. Whenever you know about the SHG, you come across women empowerment and all, but today you will get something. So we have to analyze the SHG on 3 parameters. First is the poverty elevation, very big their motivation. Another is members productivity. Third one is the financial independence of the women who are enrolled in the SHG. So to go into these parameters, we have divided this study into 3 parts. 3 objectives, I would say. First objective was, we have analyzed the expenditure pattern of the women who are taking the micro loans through their banking in this program. So this is some chart that's showing the expenditure pattern that women have taken into the row. So you can see when it comes to the SHG, what is come that the women will use it for particular financial independence and their members' productivity. What you can see here, the woman Saroj is using that SHG money for the house making and agriculture inputs, it's a good thing altogether, and children's education, mainly boys. And you can see the Kiranji. She also taking that loans for the house making and children education mainly boys. And we have also, these are actually earlier were some individual pattern that we have seen. Now as a whole SHG group, we have generalized this thing. And there were two SHG we have observed. First is the Maya and another one is Ganesh. So you can see that in the Maya, there were six times the loan was taken for the house making, children education mainly boy 4 times, and own enterprise 0 times, and also some health accident and all 3 times. So these are some of the insights we have taken from their expenditure pattern, that women are actually prioritizing their living standard over their own members' productivity. And another one is, and very key insight that we have found, that when it comes to the SHG, it is a symbol of women empowerment. But they are using the money of the SHG for the marriage purpose and mainly the dowry. And actually, through the women empowerment cost, they are indirectly supporting the patriarchal setup. Another thing is that the education that I mentioned, I have seen in their school, the enrollment ratio of the girl is very high, and we will go there and we will be very surprised. Yeah, the women are really getting educated. But the thing is that boys' enrollment ratio is less in the school because they are sending their boys to the private school and through the loans of the SHG. And one more, I would say the problematic thing is the debt repayment. They are taking the loans and using it for the debt repayment, and it is creating the vicious cycle of their debt. So these are some of the implications that they are diverging from the SHG objective. Gender dynamics in the resource allocation they are using for their point points, and limited focus on product investment. So second objective was that we have observed that why the women are leaving their particular SHGs, because we have seen that some women have leave out around 20 to 30 women were there. So we have collected data of 5 to 7 there. So there were some women. Rama Devi was there. She was the member of the Saraswati SHG. She joined in 9 and leave in the 2018. The very first insight that she gave that I leave because there was a mismanagement of fund. There were also some women. Sunita was there. Sunita ji was there. She said that once you become the member of the SHG, you will get a appointment as a Mukhia. So if you get the appointment as a Mukhia, you will have to go to the other city. But his husband is not allowing that. So due to these reasons, she also had to be dropped out of this particular thing. So these are some of the reasons that I mentioned that. Another one was a diversion of loan that I have shown in the earlier slide, that expenditure pattern is going to the debt repayment. They ultimately have to default and other member has to say them goodbye from the SHG. And third thing is that when it comes to the SHG, so the very first thing that the members productivity I have talked about, they were after 110 women who are into the SHG, only 3 have opened their own enterprise and all of them were closed. One of the reasons was that they were saying that market is not that conducive, so we have to close that's a valid reason. And another one was that his husband has taken his soap and he was using for the liquid thing as said by the AC case. And another reason was that the financial burden on the woman. She has to close his grocery shop because his husband has to fill the installments and all these things. So she does not have the amount to be filled. So these are some of the unique initiatives that has been taken by us. So it has also been appreciated by the local newspaper. We have conducted a FGD with the women, and we have said that if you want to reach on the goal of the SHG, you have to do something that is worth generating, or I would say income generating thing. So they themselves say that they want to do some utensil making, sanitary waste making, and all these things. And when it comes to the women empowerment talk, it's not always the focus of the women to get empowered. It's also on the male part. So this is the meeting that we have done with the male counterparts. So it's equal responsibility for them also to get sensitized. So these are some of the things we have done, and we would like to play a short video.
Sir, one thing I want to add in exploratory that we have found that in this village, there was sort of Hinduization was also taking place because before, after independence, even the phase of independence, most of the Muslim community used to turn into the Hindus in that particular place. They were known as Joti, and Sanskritization was also taking place because most of the scheduled castes were going back to the Buddhism. That was our finding. That's all from us.
In one of your slides, you spoke of the remoteness of this village and used parameters such as access, the nearest road place or nearest railway or nearest tehsil and so on.
Yeah.
You had in the earlier slide somewhere in your not in your theme paper but the previous one.
It was an exploratory.
Yeah, in the exploratory one. Okay. Now I just want to I have a question pertaining to that. Now, do you have has any intervention made a difference to this particular parameter? So when you say remote, that is a locational problem.
Yeah.
Okay. And tehsil and all cannot be changed, that is how it is good. But remoteness in terms of accessibility is not there. Is that what I understand?
Actually, ma'am, we don't have any vehicle for commutation. We were living in the host family room, and we for leaving to Alwar or leaving to the main road, we have to walk 6-7 kilometers.
So is it just you? What is in the village itself? What was the other regular population? How were they commuting? Were they walking or did they have their personal vehicles?
Most of the people but females used to go with their husband on their bikes, and
Okay.
most of the people were having bikes. We didn't find any sort of cycle in that particular village. Cycle was not prevalent in that particular village. Only bikes, and most of them people used to have a omni or a cab like thing. They used to earn their daily wages from that.
Okay, so what you're saying basically is the remoteness is linked to public
Public transportation.
transportation.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Remoteness also come because it was surrounded by the Aravali.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's like more geographically, geographic location is leading to this. Okay.
Because ma'am, in any village, if there water, river is there, the population will be high, and this was in between of the, mountains, so that's why there was no
Sure.
water.
You also spoke that there is no primary health center is there or not there. What is the?
It was not there, ma'am. There was a chemist, and he used to treat people in that village, and
So is it not there because it's not been allocated one, or is it that it's non-functional?
It is there and it's non-functional. No government officer or any is there, and it's also remote from the village. Means they are at a distance from the village, 3 to 4 kilometers.
From the village itself. Okay, and so is it? What is the usage of that with the chemist? People are taking medications?
he has also taken from me. So,
No, I'm just asking that since the doctor is not there to prescribe, the chemist is prescribing medication.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what about the women over there? Are they accessing, because he's a male chemist, are they accessing him for their needs?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
They are taking medication from him, they're explaining
Yeah.
their medical problems to him?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I was asked to them about sanitary pads and all. He's saying that older women are using the older meals and new girls are using the sanitary pads.
But they come and take all that from
Yes,
you.
ma'am,
So
but-
his being a male member is not hindering access to medication.
No, no, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, 2 to 3 other shops are also there. So, yeah.
Two, three other shops are
Medical shops.
medical shops. No, I'm just talking about the primary healthcare. Is this linked to the primary healthcare
No, ma'am.
sector?
No, ma'am. It's
Oh,
He's a
it's
local
private.
chemist.
Oh, it's
He's-
local chemist.
he's a
So
local-
primary healthcare is not providing anything at all. It
No,
is
ma'am.
defunct.
Yes, ma'am.
A lady was there and she used to not come. I think she was.
And there was a lady who is appointed there, but she is not coming. I don't know.
for their job. I mean, she was not there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you spoke of you spoke of caste identity focus. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that is an observation and a good observation there. Can you tell me how this is impacting development of this of the not when I say impacting, I don't mean negatively impacting.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just saying what is the impact of high caste identity on development of the village?
I mean, ma'am, if we find that, ma'am, in our report also we have mentioned that, we have not mentioned in this particular slide, that, ma'am, in that particular village there was no barber, and the barber work used to done by a Naikas, and, ma'am, in 2015-16 the barber shop was open in this particular village. I mean, if you are belonging to a particular caste, then you have to work that particular work. In that was prevalent in that particular village. I mean, ma'am, this was very difficult situation for all of us, and, ma'am, there was small kid. I mean, he was saying to all of us that he is the person from XYZ caste, and she is scheduled caste or some sort of caste, and if this particular person is entering in my house, our home, our whole, I mean, family will take a bath. And this was the level of casteism in this village.
Were you asked about your own caste there?
Our host family didn't ask our caste, ma'am. So
Okay.
they were good.
Okay.
So, in the slide you mentioned about extraction cost of water is high.
Yes.
What does that mean?
I mean, the water is 700 feet down, and I mean, so water is costly altogether, sir.
What is the cost?
So actually, it's a implicit cost if they dig down, and sometimes even at 7,700 feet, the water will not be there.
Yes, but what is the cost?
You are asking the actual figures.
Yes. Then only I know it's high or low, right?
We don't have any
Yeah.
raw data about that.
Okay.
Sir. Sorry, sir.
So, and then SHG are giving their rate of interest is 2%.
yeah.
It's monthly or yearly?
Monthly.
Monthly, right?
Yes.
So 24% yearly is a right figure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And yes, sir, they used to, for yearly data, they used to take loans from Yes Bank at 18% interest,
Yes.
and 24% they used to distribute in
Still they will
SHG.
make some money.
6% is the profit.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And then this Krishi Sakhi,
Yes. Sir.
this is like appointed by whom? These are like, I mean,
Sir,
it's a part of
actually-
some scheme, right?
Actually, our host organization, IFTDA, they have initialized the process of SHG formation, under which they have appointed some of the, I would say, position. One of them was the PCC.
Yes, but this Krishi Sakhi is a part of some scheme.
No, sir, it's a part of the organization.
It's a position, sir.
NGO position.
Is it a paid position or a voluntary?
Yeah, sir, same position.
Paid
1200 per
position.
month.
Huh?
1200 per month.
1200?
By the organization.
Okay, okay. No, but I think you need to, I'm not sure, it should be a part of some scheme which the organization is implementing. Anyway, okay. And then you mentioned about preference metrics in the governance slide.
Yes, sir.
You need to explain that. What is that? Yes.
So I mean, this preference matrix, highest priority is given to the, I mean, road, water. Sir, this livelihood, sir, they are giving more, I mean, preference. But for the,
Who has given this preference?
I mean the
Members itself, sir, we have asked to them.
Who? The panchayat members?
Yes, sir.
So these 12 members,
Yes, sir.
how many of them attended your meeting?
Sir, first of all, sir, when we went to the, Sarpanch of this village, he was the hoax. I mean, her daughter was studying in some, I think, Alwar, and initially he, said to us that he is not available for us. We went 2, 3 times to him, so we don't get actual data. We have talked to people of that particular village who are engaged in this activity. So we have collected this data from that particular thing. Because the Sarpanch was not available, so we don't have any sort
Yeah,
of...
okay. I think my last question
Yes,
is
sir,
that
yes, sir.
you looked at empowerment of women through SHGs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Is the empowerment has happened?
Sir, actually, empowerment is a very big term and multi-dimensional. Of course, we have the host family. Her name is Veena, and she is the only woman who have taken more channels the Pradhan, and she is the only woman who who support his children child marriage. And I particularly by myself have seen that women are more vocal. They are more financial knowledge. Of course, these are some of the ways they can improve. So.
Yeah. Do you think that SHG has been successful in its objective?
I think, sir, it will be a mixed bag, I think, because SHG is providing loan to the organization, but this ultimately creates a vicious circle of poverty.
Fine.
Because they are taking loan,
Yes.
and they are
So it's a mixed finding, right? And she's asking me to stop. My last question is
Yeah.
that you have mentioned about you have done something about sensitization for men. You've done some meeting, something like that. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What have you done there?
So actually, I talked about because I have told earlier in the slide that these people actually restrict women from going outside. They also say that don't go for the meeting because you are taking too much of the time. So we have said that actually we have given them some examples of the women, Veena ji and all these. I would say Ajivika Sati and all these Sati, how they are running and we have also given the example of one of the women who are living there, and she actually said, women actually say that today my whole village know our house from my name. So we give them some of the examples, and we say that you are actually diminishing your income opportunities if you are restricting them.
Sir, I want to add a point in this. For women empowerment, there was a lady, Veena. She was our landlord, and his son done a love marriage in village. So it was a huge, cinema in this village. And she started a morcha against the village as well as against Pradhan, and his child marriage was done and dusted because this is a classic example of woman empowerment. When women can do anything, and his husband is no more. Sir. He is one man army.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks to all the groups that presented. I hope there's a learning for the rest of the people themselves in the surrounding that wherever